How much should you pay for B2B lead generation? Now, right now, there are many B2B companies that are pouring thousands of dollars into leads that never convert. And you may have heard it said that the higher priced leads will convert better. But most businesses are missing a much smarter option, one that actually builds trust. It filters for the right buyers, and it delivers leads that are actually worth paying for. Let's first address the myth that expensive leads are always higher quality. If you have a lead source that you love, that you get results, then obviously keep doing that. Now, I'll admit right up front, I am not an ads expert, but I am a lead gen expert, so stay with me. What I have learned about ads seems to be the opposite. When I ask them about Facebook versus YouTube ads versus LinkedIn ads, what I've been told is if you start on Facebook, that's the best way to grow economically, and you can fine-tune your funnels. And once you get that working well, then you can start to expand and experiment with YouTube and LinkedIn ads. Now, I've been told that YouTube and LinkedIn are more expensive. What I'm going to share in this video is a way to generate way higher quality leads than any of these platforms, much more effectively, much more affordably. Now, let's start out by talking about the difference between lead volume and lead quality. So I have a good friend and client. Her name is Noelle Randall. She does a lot of things. She has many businesses. One of her businesses, she teaches real estate investing, specifically Airbnb rentals. Now, years ago, she worked for a whole year to build a YouTube channel, hoping to market this real estate coaching business. Her business was successful. She grew the business to about $1 million of revenue in the previous year, and she had done that through Facebook ads. She did it smart. She really tested and tweaked and fine-tuned her funnel, her landing pages, her offer, her pricing. So through these Facebook ads, she generated about $1 million in revenue in the previous year. Her YouTube channel grew to about 6,000 or 6,500 subscribers, but it didn't generate any leads. It was not adding to her business at all. But she learned about the leaf strategy that I teach. I'll cover more of that later. She learned what it could do to help her generate leads. And so we started producing her channel. We were launching 5 episodes a week on her YouTube channel. And after 3.5 months, she was at a point where she was happy to just turn off Facebook ads altogether. Now, why would she do that? Her Facebook ads were successful. They grew her to the point she was now of generating $1 million in the previous year. Well, she didn't enjoy it. She was putting a lot of time trying to keep up with things and the changes. And I don't know all the ins and outs because, again, I don't spend a lot of time with ads, but that's what she reported to me. And she was excited, not that the quantity of leads from YouTube matched what she was getting from Facebook, but the quality of the YouTube leads were far superior. These were people that already knew her, that already trusted her, even already knew a lot about her and her strategy. They just wanted to know what it looked like to work with her. Compared to the Facebook leads, they were totally cold. So even though she had a higher quantity of those, she had to burn through tons of those to find the right people and to actually make a sale. So 3.5 months in, she turned off Facebook. If we fast forward a year or so, I don't remember the exact date, but she grew her business revenue just from these YouTube leads to $6 million a year. So why does this work? Like, what's the difference? Well, the difference is this is search driven versus like a pushed ad campaign. If people are being interrupted with whatever they're doing with an ad, you're annoying them. But really the exact opposite of that is people that are online, whether they go to Google, YouTube, or ChatGPT, they're searching, they're asking questions. And in the case of business owners use Google, ChatGPT, and YouTube just as much as consumers. They're asking questions about their business. How do they solve that? How do they fix the revenue? What do they do about sales? How do they motivate their team? There are tens of thousands of questions that these B2B companies are asking. So instead of making content to push in front of these people and hopefully get in front of the executives or the owners, what if instead you could find out what questions are these business owners typing in when they go to ChatGPT or when they go to Google or YouTube? Once you find out that information, then it becomes easy. You just make videos answering their question, and you don't talk about yourself. You don't talk about your services. You just focus on them and giving them help. And what that does is that type of content, the answer content, not the promo content, but the content that answers or solves people's problems, That content ranks at the top of YouTube, Google, and ChatGPT. So your ideal clients, they find you and they start building trust with you in this relationship as they watch your video. So now I'm going to tell you the 5 ingredients of a relationship funnel, okay? So step number 1 is search. People are searching for you. We've kind of already talked about that. Step number 2 is discovery. So they find you. Because you make videos that answer exactly what they're searching for, of course they click on it, and of course they watch it all the way to the end. And number 3 is trust building. And we've already talked about that as well. You're not trying to promote anything, but you're trying to help them. They really appreciate that. Step number 4 is a free gift, right? You might have heard of the term a lead magnet. So at the end of the video, after you've given them, say, 10 or 12 minutes of this free value answering their question, you can give them a free download or a free resource that relates to their business. It's going to help them with their team or whatever the topic is. So to get that free resource, they give you their name and their phone number, their email. That's where you can nurture them. Now they're in your sales funnel and you know how to take it from there. You know how to get them onto a qualified call. So a strategy session, a discovery call, whatever that looks like, that is number 5. You're going to have a qualified call with people that found you through search, already know who you are, and already trust you. Now let's look at a few ways that you can measure lead quality. So the first one is, when you're generating all these leads, how do you filter out the people that are your ideal clients and those that are not? I mean, how do you separate consumers from business owners? It's actually pretty easy. Because when you're searching to find these questions that your target audience is asking, just by the words that they use or the question that they're asking, the problem that they're facing, you know if they're asking a question about a business or if they're, trying to lose weight or something, it's an individual. If they're asking questions about your HR department or team building or stuff like that, it's a business. The good news is when you generate leads through search, you're not going to really have to worry about lead quality anymore, because it's really important to pay attention to that when you're doing paid ads. You're like, all right, what keyword or what audience or whatever am I focusing on, and what's my cost per lead? And you're having to juggle all of that and be budget conscious there. But when people are finding you through search, they're all high quality leads. Now there's one other mistake, and it's a pretty big mistake that a lot of people make in their marketing. They're doing a lot of efforts that are actually nurturing and not marketing, and yet they think they're marketing. And I want you to understand this principle so you make sure that you're not making the same mistakes, and so that you are truly marketing and that you're generating leads in the way that we've been talking about. So basically part 2 of this discussion, I'm going to link to another episode right there. It's called Why Your Marketing Isn't Working. I'll see you in the next episode.